Well, greetings to you. A lot of feedback I've had from my interview with Sonia Poulsen. She's the last investigative journalist in this country, apart from Julian Assange, of course, is shamefully banged up. Leaving that aside, a lot of people, it was on conscription, if you didn't spot it, it's worth having a look. Conscription and soldiering and so on and so forth. Now, at the moment, you are being told that we need to start gearing up for a war with Russia. We need to vamp up the bloody army, sort it all out, because our army now is very small, so on and so forth. And I need to make a few observations as an old soldier, admittedly with a very undistinguished record. I'm the first to admit it. And I was around in the 1968 reforms. That's how long ago all these happened with me. Light armoured reconnaissance and later into logistics with 4th Armoured Division and subsequently trading strategy at the Royal College of Defence Studies. And I leave all that aside. So what I'm saying is I'm not the gobshite in the golf club, all right? Okay, I do know a little bit what I'm talking about, and I'm also a military historian. Right, let me get on. Let me get on with it. What can we do? What is the situation? Well, first of all, Russia is not a strategic enemy of this country, all right? It's not a strategic enemy. In the last war and the war before that, they were our allies, and very useful allies, in fact, major allies, necessary allies. So that's the point. That's a new strategic point of view. Now, the Soviet Union was hostile to us politically, of course it was, and it posed a military threat, and a very strong military threat. And so it became an unnecessary strategic threat. But there haven't been really a strategic threat until our days of empire, when, of course, the great game in Afghanistan and northern India and so forth, and control of the Mediterranean and the warm sea ports and all that kind of thing. You could argue that they were a strategic foe, but they're not now. Drill this into your heads, and I know I don't need to drill it into the heads of my subscribers, because you're a cut above the average punter who reads the Daily Express. The Soviet Union's bloody well gone. All right, let's stop prodding the bear, and the safest thing we can do for our country is to stop annoying one of the most powerful countries in the world, militarily and with natural resources and so on and so forth. Let's stop poking the bear. That's keep our country safe. That's the problem. It's not the Russians that are going to invade us or are likely to invade us. We are already being invaded at Dover, and I've said enough about that before. There's the enemy. The enemy of the North Americans, the United States, is their open border, not the bloody Russians or the Chinese. Let's sort ourselves out. Now, when it comes to military, what is the military there for? What is the army for? It's to defend our island nation. So it needs to be strong enough to do that. And at the moment, it's not. It needs to be at least 100,000. We need to pump some money into the territorial army by way of a reserve, which is why it was initially, in the Edwardian era, it was designed to do that. It's defence of the realm. It's not the defence of the Ukrainian realm. It's not the defence of the Israeli realm or anybody else's. Let them defend themselves. We must defend our own. And that's where our resources should go. But the safest way for our nation is peace. Not this forever wars, war after war after war, where we tag along with the bloody Americans like a poodle doing exactly what they say. So let's sharpen up. Let's have somebody, a defence minister, who actually knows something about Grant Shapps. Are you kidding me, aren't you? Grant Shapps and defence correspondents of the newspapers and the CIA-driven rhetoric of the tabloids. We need to sweep it away. We need to sweep it away. If we don't, we might find it bites us in the arse. As most of you know, my work is very heavily independently research-based, and I get my information from all over the world. It would help if you press the subscribe button and the little bell next to it, because the more subscribers I have, the more likely it is that international independent research institutes will share their material with me. It's most helpful, and then of course I automatically share it with you. So surprise, won't cost you anything. Thank you very much.